Alright, Chapter 3, Education out of Ask Gary Vee. As always, the links to this notes will be in the description below. And I'm going to read the notes and then I'll go and talk about it. Cool. So Chapter 3, Education. It's not important, but if you don't know where you want to do, then college is a great place to experiment. Knowledge is helpful, but you can learn anything on the job over time. 1. University is not fast enough for business. If you know what you want to do, do that. If you don't know what you want to do, college is a great place to figure that out. Fix education, pressure from outside until forced to change. Gary hasn't read a book, Facebook and Google Books. 10 is a good age to start learning business. So those 5 points are out of the paper notes I took and then I converted them to the computer. And point 1 and the first little blurb I have right here, right there, is not, they're the same thing. And so not important, but if you don't know what you want to do, college is a great place to experiment. It's this one. And so basically, the point he makes is that you don't need to go to, if you don't know what you want to do, if you know what you want to do, and it doesn't require college, don't go to college, just go and chase that. But if you don't know what you want to do, go to college because it provides a great learning ground to figure out what you do like to do. And so that's what college should be used for as an experiment. And don't slack and get lazy. Have fun, but don't slack and get lazy. And give it your all. And then, kind of this last bit, knowledge is helpful, but you can learn anything on the job over time. This comes out of a book's it was called like Making College Count, I believe. And so after I read this book, it was kind of hey, if you get hired at an IBM or whatever, or Microsoft, could they not teach you how to code there? So do you really need to know how to code, or do you just need to be the type of person that they're looking for? And that's what you want to be when you want to get hired for a business, or to know stuff is, and right now Gary's totally right when he says that knowledge is commoditized in the sense that you can Google and learn from the internet anything that you need to, or you can look up the contact information for someone who would know. And so if you needed a really high-level answer, you could Google a university professor that knows that and give them a call and maybe set up a meeting or something. And so reaching out to learn things that way. So university is not fast enough for business. So Gary would not recommend going to university for business just because the marketing techniques, they might still be teaching billboard marketing techniques, and right now it's Facebook and all this stuff. And so university is not growing as fast enough, or is not growing fast enough to keep up with current business practices that work the best. So if you want to do business, don't go to school for it because the university won't. They'll just suck your money. Just put that money into starting a business and learning on your own. If you know what you want to do, college is a great place to figure it out. Already talked about that. Fix education. This was like the last question in the chapter of education. And they talked about the school problem and how do you fix the schools. And Gary's short and simple answer, I'm going to boil it down, is the knowledge is too big and corrupt to turn it around. And so all you can do is put pressure on it from the outside. So from what I'm thinking is the college or the Khan Academy, the crash courses out there, kind of a Udemy or the Great Courses Plus, putting pressure on from the outside. So that way, the inside, the big machine, is forced to change. They asked Gary what books has he read, and he has only read about 8 books from what I gathered from the book. But he has read the books that go through Gary's origin story and Google's origin story. So he has read through those. So of the few books that he has read, I think those two might be those were the two he hinted at looking into. And the last point I wrote is 10 is a good age to start learning business. I believe the question was about like his kids maybe or something. But basically he was saying if kids are starting to have tendencies to grow towards one another thing, they can really start to accrue skills at a young age and just give them that edge at a young age. And so 10 is a good age to start learning business because I think business will be useful no matter what field you go into. And so kids learning this at a young age is not a bad thing. So that's Chapter 3, Education of Ask Gary Vee.